If you've ever been to a pet store, you might have seen tiny hermit crabs. They're cute, shy, and live in adorable enclosures. But not every hermit crab is that cute. In faraway, remote islands lives a hermit crab so large that even Charles Darwin called it monstrous. This is the coconut crab. Hi, I'm Danielle Dufault, and you're watching Animalogic. Coconut crabs, or robber crabs, get a bad reputation because they're humongous, they have gigantic claws, and they've been seen eating birds and kittens. But if you get past all that, they're actually amazing creatures. Coconut crabs are massive. They can have a leg span of over 1 meter and weigh over 4 kilograms. They're the largest land invertebrate on Earth, and they might have actually reached the current physiological size limit for arthropods. Back in the day, there used to be larger land arthropods, such as the fearsome Arthropleura, which grew to be 2.5 meters long. But as oxygen levels in the air dropped, their large bodies became unsustainable, as they're not as good at absorbing oxygen as vertebrates. Coconut crabs are the biggest land arthropods that we have, but if you want to see them, you might have to travel far. They're found on islands in the South Pacific and the Indian Ocean, with large populations living on Christmas Island and the Cook Islands. Their distribution aligns nicely with the distribution of the coconut palm, even though coconuts aren't their only food source. They are surprisingly great climbers and often climb the palm trees to grab the coconuts. When possible, they prefer to eat fleshy fruit and nuts. Some of those fruits, including the sea mango, have toxins that get sequestered in the crab's bodies and make the crabs poisonous to humans. Their asymmetrical claws are among the largest in the animal kingdom, and for some reason, their left is always larger than the right. South claws represent. Coconut crabs have the strongest claw grip in the animal kingdom at 1,500 newtons. They're helpful for self-defense, hunting, and for opening coconuts. To do this, they pull away the outer fibers in a process that might take days. Then, they pierce holes through the eyes of the coconut with their thin and pointy legs. This makes the coconut easier to break to access the meat. Coconuts are so important to them that in areas without coconuts, they're about half the size of coconut crabs from areas that have coconuts. Though mostly vegetarian, coconut crabs will eat anything they can get their claws on. Carrion, rats, birds, and other live animals are consumed when they're available. For mid-sized coconut crabs, their only predators are humans and larger coconut crabs. In one particularly gruesome case, a coconut crab was observed eating a red-footed booby. The crab was observed climbing a tree in the middle of the night. It approached a sleeping red-footed booby and grabbed it by the wing, breaking its bone. This caused the bird to fall to the ground. The crab followed it and grabbed the other wing, also breaking it. The smell of blood attracted 20 other coconut crabs, which proceeded to have booby for dinner. There's a morbid theory that the reason why Amelia Earhart was never found was because coconut crabs may have dragged her into their burrows and eaten her. Their sense of smell on land is very advanced compared to other crustaceans, and they have convergently evolved an olfactory system similar to insects, with antennae full of chemoreceptors. Their antennae help them find food, but also help them find potential Valentine's Day dates, which for them is between May and September. Males deposit a spermatophore on the abdomen of the female. She uses this to fertilize her egg cases, which she carries externally. When they're ready to hatch, she goes to the water and releases them when the tide is high. The babies live as plankton for about a month, fully dependent on ocean currents for movement. When they're a little older, they go to the bottom and use abandoned sea snail shells for protection. Then, within the first year of their life, they go to land and lose the ability to breathe underwater. If you find a coconut crab, do not throw it into the water. Just give it a good claw shake and send it on its way. I'm kidding, do not touch their claws. They will continue growing for decades. We're still not sure when they reach their maximum size, but it's believed to be at least 40 years of age, with some scientists claiming that they could grow until they're about 120 years old. Like all crustaceans, coconut crabs molt as they grow. They need to shed their old exoskeleton and grow a new larger one. The new exoskeleton is initially very soft, which makes them very vulnerable for a few weeks after molting. These pinchy boys molt every year. To avoid harm, they dig a burrow to shed their old exoskeleton, then they eat it to recoup nutrients and wait for the new one to harden. I guess they really hate birthdays. Unfortunately, it's getting increasingly hard to find huge coconut crabs. They got this big because they had no natural predators on their islands. But humans and the animals they bring, such as dogs and pigs, have caused a rapid decline in their populations. They're now extinct in part of their historical range, such as Madagascar and mainland Australia. Hopefully, as we learn more about them, we'll be able to protect them better. But until then, I guess we'll have to keep letting them eat kittens and birds as their populations recover. You may have noticed that I'm wearing something new this week. You just have to look closer. This is the brand new Animalogic watch made in collaboration with Undone Watches. I never dreamed that my drawings would become such a large part of my work, but having them come to life on this channel has been an absolute dream come true. The team at Undone Watches are huge fans of this show, and they wanted to partner with us to create a custom watch using my artwork. Obviously, I said yes. I mean, just look at it, it's incredible. And now we'd like to share them with you. By clicking the link in the description, you can enter for a chance to win one of these two beautiful watches. This one is the Undone Killie, which has my drawing of a cat eye on the case back of this vintage chronograph-inspired watch. The second one is the Undone Navy, and it features a bearded dragon, which is one of my favorite lizards. Now I'll have my drawings with me wherever I go, and you can too. Doesn't hurt to be the classiest scientific illustrator in the room either. So what should we talk about next? Please let me know in the comments and be sure to subscribe for new episodes of Animalogic every week. Thanks for watching. See ya!